Good afternoon, everyone. Got something slightly different for you today. I'm actually going to do an unboxing because I won a copy of the Batman miniature game starter box in a raffle on Night Models newsletter. So that just dropped through my door. You guys can be with me while I crack this open and have a look at the various Batman related goodies inside. I've got just about enough room on my desk to do that. Here we go. New box smell. Very nice, very nice. Okay. So, I guess all the manual and all the card elements here. That's all the stuff that we're actually interested in, miniatures. Alright, let's see what we got on this first. Carefully, carefully. Unfortunately, I don't have a little batarang to slice these open with. That would have completed the whole effect. I am wearing a Night Lords t-shirt, which is, I guess, kind of appropriate. It says "I am the Knight" on it, which is a Batman catchphrase, but Night Lords because I don't know. You get the joke, probably. Alrighty, this is the manual. It's lovely, it's yellow, it's black, it's all you need. Cool. So, also, just a list of what you meant to get in here. Nice artwork. Remember, it's just a game, have fun. Ooh, that's cool. I like multi-level boards like this. At Warhammer World, they had a Necromunda board that was just gantries and pipelines and walkways and rock faces, many different levels. And this is like a Batcave board. That same principle. It's missing the giant dinosaur, but it does have the giant penny. So that's cool. I would like to play on a board like that. Yeah. That's how I sit when I'm watching TV in the morning with a bowl of cereal on my lap. Either that or I sit like this, you know. I will figure out how to play this later. I'm just having a flip through and looking at the pretty pictures right now. I did read through the rules for the DC miniatures game. I don't know yet how similar it is. I know that they're different enough that miniatures have got they provide different stats for DC miniatures game and Batman, so they've got to be fairly different, but nice. Yeah, he's in the game as well. And a selection of other various villain models that they've got. So that's the manual. Got, okay, that's a flame template. Nice. Some sort of Joker shenanigans here. Are these like range rulers with... Oh, you've got Batman themed ones and Joker themed ones. There was a bat signal and like a poison spray on the other side of that. More tokens. Like you got like wound markers and probably objectives and other things which will become more obvious once I've actually read the rules. That's just a duplicate of that. Alright, let's move on to the goodies. Okay, so most of this stuff is in Ziploc bags. This was in cellophane. I've just unwrapped it off camera because you don't want to see me struggling with that for 10 minutes. But we've got... Also, these are like deployment area cards for the scenario. So is this like a thing similar to... They've done similar things for 40k and Age of Sigmar where you've got you randomly determine various elements about the scenario, like the deployment and the objectives and whatnot with cards. So it looks kind of like what this is. This is just like effects or things that you can, like stratagems also. quite a lot of these. I'm not sure if these are like objectives that you need to do or things that you can play to just like, yeah, your guy has been Joker gassed. I don't know. Flip through those. Oh, stat cards. So, for all the various miniatures, which we will be looking at later. Who's Officer Merkel? Random Police, Harley, Deadshot, random Joker Goons, I'm going to figure out what all these cards mean later. Got a 6 dice. You know what dice are like. You don't need me to look at those. Just gonna get the minis out, put the box out the way for the time being. Bag of bases. See what we've got. So this is all in resin by the looks of it. I liked the like I've got a few of Night Model's older metal ones, which are generally pretty good. I've heard mixed reviews about the resin stuff. This is actually the first one that I've got. So this looks like... Ooh, nice. Yeah, I think this is probably Harley, or... Oh no, that's definitely Deadshot. That's Harley. So I guess them and their scenic base elements are sharing a bag. This has got to be the guy himself in here. Yeah. The Batman you get in this box is mostly Cape. So, okay, his head just fell out there. Try and make that be in focus. I'm going to try and pop these together real quick so I can actually show them to you. Now, from what I saw on the website, the cops and the Joker Goons have got like optional heads, so that's fun. I'll have a bunch of spare clown heads, or whatever I choose to use. Yeah, here we go. So you've got like a more normal looking and a clown looking head for each of the goons. And then you've just got 2 regular head options for the cops. And some of the zip blocks are going. Yeah. So there's all this resin. I'll glue them together and then I'll show them to you. Okay, it's been a little while since I assembled all of these, but I just wanted to record a little final thoughts for the unboxing after I'd assembled these before I started to paint them. And now that I've actually read the rules, have a little bit of thoughts on those as well. Right, so there's actually a spare base. I screwed up a little bit on some of these slot bases and clipped the slots off on the police. So I wound up having to fill those in, and then I decided to put sand on it. And then even for the ones like the goons that I didn't clip the slots off of, there was still a bit of an unsightly gap, so it would have been either do I fill those gaps in and try and get the paving things in there, or do I just sand it over? And in the end I decided to just sand everything because he's got a random chunk of rock that doesn't really look good on paving slabs. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the miniatures before I primed them, so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. So the sculpts are all really nice. I've been looking through their website, Night Model's website, looking at other stuff for the Batman game. I've had a bunch of their metal models before and have always been pretty happy with them. There was like maybe one I got that had a slight miscast issue on it, but that's fine. The only real downside to this set, in my opinion, is the material that these are made in. Because it's it's resin, but it's a sort of like a rubbery kind of resin. And I don't know if you can see, there's particularly in some of the parts, there's like specks of darker colour in it. On some of the models, you can see the resins, like different parts of different colours, so it's a little bit inconsistent like that. There's a lot of flash that's kind of difficult to trim off because of how rubbery it is. And yeah, you might have seen earlier, some of the models had a lot of gaps needed to be filled. But other than that, the sculpts are great, so I'm sure they'll look great when they're painted up. And there's a bunch of like spare base. These are all just spare base doodads that I didn't use. The one other thing I wanted to chat about in this video, now that I've actually had a read through them and not just skimmed it, is the rules. It's, yeah, as I thought, it's completely different from the DC miniature game rules. So the stats for the one will not be compatible with the other. I know there's a couple of kits on the site which are listed as multiverse, which I believe means they've got stats for this and for DC miniature games. So that's there's a Batman, there's I think some of the Flash characters have that as well, but not like the more powerful DC characters like the Lanterns and Superman and all that. They're a bit too big guns for this. There's all those card counters. You're not going to need all of those because some of them are for obscure status effects that won't come into play much, like being frozen or stuff like that. So you've got hit point damage and stun damage, so there's counters for that. There's a mechanism whereby you can put down evidence, which is basically objective markers, and score points off of those. There's lampposts, which are an essential part of the game actually, because a lot of games have night fighting as an optional rule. This has it as the default. So every game of Batman miniature game is assumed to take place at night. So visibility is by default restricted to models within a certain distance, or if they're nearby a street light, they can just be seen. There's sewer covers, which you can go into the sewers and essentially just teleport through them. You can just Super Mario your way in one and out the other, which is potentially kind of fun. There's one other thing which could have probably been improved from the starter box is it says in here it's recommended you use a lot of terrain, and the starter box doesn't contain any terrain whatsoever. I mean, it would have been a bit of a stretch to cram a bunch of buildings into this box, but I don't know, maybe they could have done something like the current Warhammer starter sets do, where the inside of the box can be used as like a basic building. That would have been fun. Or like maybe a couple of flat pack card things, but that's stretching it a bit already. I mean, you're already getting a fair amount of miniatures and a lot of cardboard counters for what you're paying. I mean, I'll go now to prime these and start painting them, and maybe I'll do painting videos for those if people are interested. Let me know. And yeah, one of these days I might actually get around to playing it with somebody if I can inflict that upon them. And if that happens, I will of course let you know how it goes. This has been my first sort of attempt at an unboxing / review sort of thing. So if you've got any thoughts on how that went, you can let me know about that as well. In the meantime, take care, and I will see you in the next video, whichever one that winds up being. Got a couple on the go at the moment. See ya.